Today in your Community Focus, we are talking with the head of the Department of Labor and Training.
Director Matt Weldon joins us live at 4 via Zoom every other week. First of all, congratulations, because you were confirmed by the Senate as director since last time we spoke. We can axe the acting from your title at this point.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great to have you with us today. Now that you are officially the director, curious what's on the top of your mind, the top of your list for the vision for the department?
You know, right now, obviously top of mind is that we're trying to do all we can to reconnect Rhode Islanders that are collecting unemployment with our economy. That's the #1 focus of the team here at DLT. We work on it every single minute of every day, and we're going to do the best that we can.
Yeah, I know a lot of our questions today are focused on just that. And Director, we've been hearing a lot about worker shortages, and some are pointing to the augmented unemployment benefits as being part of the reason that people are not going back to work. And 3 states, Montana, South Carolina, and Arkansas, have all decided to opt out of that extra $300 a week come June. Is there any conversation locally to do the same?
Absolutely not. Not at this time, no. You know, that program, those federal programs have helped so many working families in Rhode Island deal with this pandemic. And it gave them the safety net that they needed to survive, really. And right now, with 67 or 68,000 people collecting just the extra $300 every week, we're talking about $20.5 million a week of federal money that goes into Rhode Island's economy. It's absolutely critical for our economy and for the working people of Rhode Island to keep access to that money.
Director, 2 weeks from now, the work search requirement goes back into play. As you've been telling us, it's been suspended for more than a year now. Where are your conversations with the legislature in terms of making changes to get people back to work, to what you were just talking about?
So there are really 2 parts of that we're dealing with. First is the work search. The people on unemployment have always had to be available for work, to be able to work, and to actively seek employment. Those requirements were waived during the pandemic, not only in Rhode Island, but in most of the country, if not all of the country. And for very good reason. It was tough to make people look for work when the government had shut down large parts of the economy. Well, now, because the vaccine rollout has gone so well, it's safe to go back to work and the restrictions are being lifted. It's time to go back to work, and states are starting to do that. In fact, the White House announced today that they're going to encourage states to put their work search requirements back in. We had announced last week, the governor announced that'll happen on May 23rd. That's the first requirement. What does that mean? It means people need to be looking for work every week, and they need to maintain their own log. They don't have to submit it to DLT to get their weekly payment, but if they're asked, they're going to have to provide it. On the other side of it, we are working with the legislature to pass a bill that would allow people to earn up to 150% of their benefit rate before they're cut off from unemployment. That will let people earn more, keep more of what they earn, and stay connected to the federal unemployment system while they're getting back into the economy.
Director, the latest jobs report came out last week, and it showed that hiring was much weaker in April than experts were projecting. We've talked about worker shortages, but I've also read that maybe some people are just sort of reassessing their lives and their careers after going through the pandemic. What are your takeaways from the report?
I mean, I don't like to put a lot of faith into any one report, and I do think that reports coming out in the next month or 2 will be much better. But we're coming out of this pandemic now, and everyone has had their lives impacted in one way or another. You know, right now, people need to know that the safety net is there for them, that the system is there to support them, but we need them to get back to work. And I think that through the actions that we're taking, through the governor's leadership and that of the Assembly, we're going to see some meaningful change in Rhode Island soon.
And Director, just about a minute left. The last time you spoke with us, you chatted with Brian about a new virtual queue system. But just about a half hour ago, I got an email from a viewer who said, I can't get in touch with anyone at the DLT. So where do things stand in terms of trying to streamline the process of talking to someone when you need help with the DLT?
That's something we work on every single day. We are working on a new customer service platform and a new call center infrastructure that will allow people to do things like wait in a virtual hold. It's not quite ready yet. I expect over the summer we're going to introduce the first version of that. You know, I want to be very careful about how we roll it out, because the system we have right now is stable and it's providing benefit payments every week. I am not willing to compromise that in order to rush this program out. I'm going to do it in a thoughtful way. I'm working with our partners in the federal government to make sure that it's appropriate and that has all the tools and resources it needs to provide the benefits that it should.
Director Matt Weldon from the Rhode Island DLT, thank you so much, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.